We are back with episode 2 of MYGM, and we're excited to get into this one. We're going all the way to Worlds Collide. We're going to do Worlds Collide, and then that will end this week's video. So we're excited to get into it. Let's jump right into it. And I'm going to be going first this week, and we have Jade Cargill sending me a message. What does this woman want? That witch-faced drama queen Bayley blundered her way to a lucky win. And yeah, she wants a rematch against Bayley, basically. But I don't believe she has any kind of feud with Bayley or anything. So, whatever. I'll give it to her. You'll get a rematch at some point. And then Braun Breaker also has a message for me, and he's also not happy, of course, because no one is happy on my brand apparently, and it's the first week. But I'm not happy losing my strap next week. I'm entitled to a rematch, and I want a championship rematch against Randy Orton. So he's basically demanding a rematch for the title against Randy Orton, and I will definitely give that to him. And yeah, that's gonna start off our week 2. A bunch of unhappy people on my roster. I'm going to activate 2 power cards this week, and I'm going to do Birth of Legends, where a random superstar will get 6 popularity on my roster. And that's going to be Bayley, Chris Sabin, Julia, Alex Shelley, Braun Breaker, and Pat McAfee, unfortunately. So that was pretty good. Pat McAfee, a little bit unfortunate, obviously, but I don't really mind it. We have one more to do, and that's going to be Mega Power, where I get to max out their popularity, stamina, and morale. So a pretty powerful one. I'm not exactly sure who I want to use it on. I know I want to use it on someone that's like a smaller, not so popular person, because I think I can get the already popular people to the level I want them to be. I'm going to go with Omos to get this. So he's going to be maxed out on stamina, morale, everything. He has a feud against Pat McAfee right now, so this will be a good starter feud to him. Maybe he'll go for a title after this. And opening our second week of SmackDown, we have Julia and Kairi Sane, our tag team women's champions, will be going in a match against Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez in a non-title tables match. We also have a tag team call out from Motor City Machine Guns to the Street Profits. We have a call out from Braun Breaker to Randy Orton. And we also have a women's triple threat match where there's no feuds going on here, but we're trying to get one started with Chelsea Green, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. Then we also have Omos versus Pat McAfee, kind of progressing their feud to the next level, hopefully. We have Obafemi cutting a promo, hopefully get some more popularity or something potentially. And then we have the men's tag team division with Motor City Machine Gun and the Street Profits right after their promo earlier on in the night. And then finishing off the promo segment of this, we have Roman Reigns and CM Punk doing a call out. And the main event of my show is going to be Bayley defending her United States Championship against Jade Cargill in a last woman standing match.
Alright, now it's my turn, and we're going to kick it off with a text message from Gunther, and he says, everything was against me last week, and as a former champion, I'm enacting my rematch clause. Yeah, I like Gunther. I'm definitely going to give it to him, and I don't know if I'll give it to him this week, but we might try to wait if I have time for the pay-per-view. Alright, for my show this week, we're going to kick it off with a no-holds-bar match between JC Jane and Tiffany Stratton. JC Jane did a call for this match, and she will get it. Then after that, we'll see a babyface change for Kevin Owens, and yeah, hopefully we have a bit of a better build towards this him and Aleister Black feud. And after that, he'll have a title defense with that North American champion against Tonga Loa after you drafted him for me, and then Aleister Black will run in on that match. And then following that, we'll have Liv Morgan call out Charlotte Flair. I'll again build that promo or that feud up a little bit more. But then we have a banger tag team title match in a TLC. We have the Lucha Bros going after Bate and Dunn. Yeah, last week they faced Nathan Frazier and Axiom. This week they get the Lucha Bros, so they are running the gauntlet a little bit. But after that, Gunther will reenact his rematch clause for later in the night, and he calls out Javon Evans first. Then in the co-main, Jordynne Grace puts her belt against Lyra Valkyria, and yeah, should be a banger match. And then in the final promo, Asuka will call out Bianca Belair and hopefully get a title match probably at that pay-per-view. And like I mentioned, Javon Evans puts the belt against Gunther after winning it last week. Hopefully he retains, and yeah, we get this feud even going up to a level 4 hopefully. Before we start the shows, though, I am going to buy the email campaign. This gives us some more show quality, and it gives us a better network payout. I don't know how much the network payout helps me, but I know the show quality probably will help me. And for $50K, I don't mind it. But it is time to get into the shows.
Alright, and for my week 2 opener, we have Julia and Kairi Sane versus the Judgment Day Girls. As I mentioned, we're going to see who comes out with the big win. This is a non-title match, and the champions do defend those titles, but it's a disappointing match. Last week we had really good ratings, so that is disappointing to see. But we're going to go on to our next match. We also get a level increase on the rivalry there. But we see Chelsea Green, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky in a triple threat match. Non-title once again. But we're going to see who comes out on top and if we could get Rhea Ripley that rivalry that she needs right now. And yeah, this is going to be a very good match. But Io Sky picks up the win, and she is feuding with, oh no, Rhea Ripley is feuding with Chelsea Green, so it's not even involving Io Sky, so we may have to reward Io Sky with something else that's not the World Championship. We also see the rivalry go between Orton and Braun Breaker, Pat McAfee, and Omos. Hopefully this could be at least somewhat good. I just used that card on Omos, and it does seem like it paid off. I increased his popularity and all of that, and yeah, they put on a 3-star match, best match of the night from Omos and Pat McAfee. Funny, funny little moment there, I guess. But we have Motor City and the Street Profits, and the champions win once again. Seems like the story of the night, but can Bayley kind of keep that story going and retain her title? Because this is the championship match of my show. Bayley versus Jade Cargill in a last woman standing, and Bayley does retain that U.S. championship in the best match of the night and gets the rivalry. So pretty much a good ending to the show, but it did start off really slow for me.
But now it is time for the A show. We start off with JC Jane and Tiffany Stratton, no holds barred. Let's see who walks out on top. And it will be Tiffany Stratton. JC wanted the stipulation, and she gets injured, and she loses. Bad call from JC Jane. At least it's a good match, though. It's only for 1 week on the injury. Kevin Owens does go to babyface in an excellent promo. That is very nice. Then we had his match versus Tonga Loa. And Tonga Loa does win. I don't think it was for the title, but we do get a rivalry growth between Aleister and Kevin Owens. So that's all that matters. Another thing between Liv and Charlotte. That's nice. Then a big one, the tag team match. Lucha Bros, Bate and Dunn. And we have the Lucha Bros walking out on top in an amazing 4-star match. And yeah, new tag team champions. Very cool. Javon and Gunther have it. Rivalry goes to a 3 now. That's very cool. Then Jordan, North American title on the line versus Lyra. And Jordan retains once again. Very nice. Ooh, another feud as well. So we could build to that. Might have to switch one of the roles. And okay, we got the rivalry start between Asuka and Bianca. Now for the main event, Javon, Gunther rematch for the title. Who walks out this week? Javon retains, and Gunther just really down on himself at 4.5, so really great match. And now we're on a level 4 feud in our world title feud.
I believe last week I was up by around 25,000 or so, but you bought it extremely close this time, and now I'm only up by 4,000 fans, and that is how we're going to win this tournament, so I am going to have to try to pull ahead a little bit more.
Yeah, good show for me to hopefully pull back that lead, but hopefully next show I can really take away the lead.
We have 2 more text messages this week. I want to see if anyone is still unhappy with me. We have Triple H saying that Pat McAfee is low stamina, so I guess we'll have to worry about that a little bit. And then we have Jade Cargill saying thank you for the rematch, and unfortunately her morale didn't go up because she is still very upset because she lost her match and didn't win that U.S. championship. Starting off week 3 for SmackDown, we have an opener of a ladder match for the tag team titles with Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits. And this is going to be a pretty heavily dominated tag team show, as you'll see in a minute. We also have Omos calling out Pat McAfee. We see Io Sky, after her win last week, go after Raquel Rodriguez. And we'll see if maybe that means she goes to the tag team division next week. And then we had Chelsea Green, Julia, and Roxanne Perez in a triple threat where Rhea Ripley will go and interfere on Chelsea Green to help build their feud forward. We see a tag team call out with Motor City going after the Street Profits after their match. They're very upset. Then we have Roxanne Perez coming out to cut a promo. We have CM Punk and Roman Reigns getting their hands on each other for one more time. And then we had the final segment with the tag team division being the Street Profits calling out Motor City this time. So hopefully this will build them all the way up to a level 4. That is going to be the goal of this show. And then our main event, the match that Braun Breaker asked for last week, a rematch against Randy Orton, and it is for that U.S. Championship. So we'll see if he can walk away with gold this week.
Kickoff week 3 for me, we're going to start with a Triple H text mention. I think you got the same one, just talking about the stamina stuff. Yeah. Alright, now Gunther, we had him have his rematch last week that he wanted. He did lose. He's a little disappointment, but we did get a Gunther morale increase. That's very nice. JC, again, similar situation. She wanted the match. At least we got some morale bonus points, so that's very nice. For my week 3 show, we're going to kick it off with Javon Evans after main eventing last week. He will go again he'll start the show this time against Tonga Loa, or see Gunther run in, and yeah, he'll try to get one more rematch very soon. Charlotte will call out Liv Morgan after her talking to her last week. We'll see Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton in a banger match, hopefully. Lyra Valkyria will turn heel, and then we'll see Bianca Belair go one-on-one with Asuka after they start the rivalry last week. This is non-title. Then we'll see Javon Evans do a little charity promo. This gives me some money, so that's kind of not going to be very useful later. And then we'll see our 2 North American champions team up versus their current feuds. We'll see Kevin Owens, Jordan Grace take on Aleister Black and Lyra Valkyria. This is after Lyra hopefully turned heel, so hopefully it should work out good. And then Liv Morgan will kind of have her own promo responding to Charlotte later in the night. But in the main event, a triple threat tag team match for in a TLC is going to be the Lucha Brothers, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, and then Fraxium to finish the night off. Hopefully we build that Fraxium and Pete Dunne feud a little bit more, and yeah, let's see how this show goes.
And our opener with the tag team division that's going to run this show that we mentioned is going to be Motor City and the Street Profits. They will be defending the tag titles in a ladder match to start the show, and they defend those tag titles, but unfortunately Alex Shelley picked up an injury for 9 weeks. So holding that title while injured for 9 weeks, that's going to be a struggle for me to kind of figure out what we're going to do with that. Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez is up next. We'll see if they start a feud. Maybe they'll be part of some kind of triple threat, 3-way, 6-woman tag team feud. I don't know what we're going to do exactly, but we'll see what comes from this feud afterwards. And it looks like Raquel is going to pick up the win, and they will start a rivalry. So I think I'll keep them one-on-one for now. And unfortunately, the promo was canceled because Alex Shelley was injured. So that's unfortunate. But our triple threat match, we'll see if Rhea Ripley can build her feud with Chelsea Green. Julia picks up a win in a disappointing match again, unfortunately. But Rhea Ripley does increase the rivalry to their feud. So at least that worked out for me a little bit. Now, Roman Reigns and CM Punk, we're going to see if they can increase their rivalry. And it does look like they will. And they did put on a pretty good match, so I'm not too upset about that. But I'm still very upset about that because we will not gain any rivalry points for any of the promos we set up. And we had 2 of them set up for this show. But Braun Breaker asked for a rematch against Randy Orton for that United States Championship. And that's what I gave him in the Falls Count Anywhere match. So we'll see if he can pick up gold on this show. And he does not. So he will continue to be very upset with me, I guess. But they did put on a 4-star match, so I'm definitely not mad at that.
Now it's my turn, and you know how we're starting it. Javon and Tonga Loa one-on-one. We have that Gunther run-in, and we see Tonga Loa beat Javon Evans, our current world champion. Hopefully that never happens in real life. Charlotte and Liv continue their feud. Then we see tables match between Stephanie and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton continues her momentum, picking up the win over Stephanie, and now we got a feud between those two. We see Lyra turn heel and good promo. Then we have that match we started last week between these two for non-title match between Bianca and Asuka, where Asuka does pick the win, so she should be a great match as well. That's very nice. Now a level 2 feud as well. So yeah, hopefully we can have a big payoff match between those two soon. Javon has his promo. It's a weak promo, but we do get 1,500 fans. And then, like I said, we have our North American champions teaming up versus Alistair and Lyra, where we see the champions retain and babyface stay on top. And now we got a feud between these four as well. So maybe we have some more intergender wrestling going on. But Liv Morgan has her promo pretty good. But the big one, our main event, TLC triple threat tag match, and the Lucha Brothers come out on top. Ooh, and Rey Fenix is injured for 8 weeks as well, so I'm kind of in a similar situation as you, where my tag team champion is now injured as well.
Yeah, it looks like these ladders are very dangerous in 2K26. Last week, it looked like you were gaining momentum and got to 4,000 fans away, but this week I increased it just a little bit up to around 10,000 fans.
Hopefully I can pull it back when we get to that pay-per-view. That's what I'm really hoping for right now.
Yeah, we have one more week until Worlds Collide, so this will be the final weekly show until we get to that pay-per-view. We have 4 text messages this week, and we're going to see what all of these people want this time, because everybody seems to be upset on Friday Night SmackDown. Triple H is telling me to take better care of my superstars, and I guess I'm going to have to do that with the injury that I had last week. So, yeah, thanks for nothing, Mr. Triple H, but I will take that power-up card nonetheless. Braun Breaker appreciates the rematch and gives me a little bit of a morale boost, so that's good. Chelsea Green says that loser Rhea Ripley attacked me during her match last week, and she's not going to stand for garbage like that. So I will give her the rematch because that is her current feud, and obviously that's going to be our women's champion in Rhea Ripley. So we'll see where we can go with that. And Roman Reigns is up next, and he is telling me that he is excited for the upcoming PLE because he doesn't show up on weekly shows. So I guess, yeah, Roman is expecting to have a big match on the PLE, and we'll see if he does make the show. I'm not exactly sure how Worlds Collide show will go in 2K26. I didn't pick it up on camera, but I did use an injury card on Alex Shelley, a gold one that decreases it by 5. So we went from 9 weeks to 4 weeks, so it does make it a little bit more bearable to deal without those tag team championships potentially. Alright, and I am going to use one more power card before the end of this week, and I have a health spa card because a lot of my people need this right now, and I think I am going to put it on Chelsea Green since she does have that feud with Rhea Ripley going on right now. Kicking off week 4 of SmackDown, we are continuing the feud of Omos and Pat McAfee, but they're starting off the show this time in the last man standing match, so potentially gonna get it all the way up to a level 4 heading into the pay-per-view. We see Bayley call out Jade Cargill. We see Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez going a one-on-one match after their feud that got started last week. Montez Ford, Obafemi, and Chris Sabin are doing a triple threat match since our tag teams are unfortunately split up with that injury. Julia versus Roxanne Perez one-on-one as well because of kind of just injury and stamina reasons. We kind of just have to throw these two together. And then our main event is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, a non-title match once again, but we'll see if we can get it to level 4 headed into that PLE once again.
Now it's my turn to check my phone. I think I had the same thing again. I have a big injury. He gave me a health spot card. Appreciate it, Mr. H. But now, Tiffany Stratton, what do you got to say, ma'am? She's been talking with Bianca lately, and they want to have a great idea for a tag team match with each other. Okay, I can maybe work that out. We'll see. I'll say yeah, but I'll probably let you down like I do for most people. But Javon Evans, what do you have to say, sir? You have that loser Gunther attacked me during the fight last week. I'm not gonna stand for that garbage. I want to sell things in the ring with him in the next 3 weeks. Well, don't you worry, because we have a pay-per-view right around the corner where I'll probably have you in my main event. So yeah, Javon, don't worry about that, big dog. All right, before we do anything else, I'm gonna start with using this injury rehab on. We're gonna use it on Rey Fenix. Obviously, that big injury last week, I'm definitely gonna need it because I do want these tag team titles around after the show, even though we won't have them going into this upcoming pay-per-view. This week, we will just try to be getting by, but before we do that, we have our recently returning, fresh off of injury, JC Jane teaming up back with Blake Monroe to put those tag team belts on the line, where you see Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton team up after Tiffany kind of recommended the idea that they team up, so who knows how that will go. And then we have Gunther cutting a promo. We got Axiom versus Tyler Bate in a singles match. We have Kevin Owens cutting a promo as well. And then we have Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair the first time they have their match to hopefully have their big payoff at the pay-per-view. Bianca Belair will call out Asuka before they have their match, probably at the pay-per-view as well. And then we have a fatal four-way between Penta, Tonga Loa, Pete Dunne, Nathan Frazier. A few of our tag team guys that have been going at it. And we throw in Tonga Loa just as an extra body. And then in the main event, we have Stephanie McMahon and Asuka going one-on-one. And then we also have Javon Evans, the world champion, cut a little promo as well. And yeah, should be a solid show. Hopefully everybody makes it to next week so we have that pay-per-view ready.
And for our go-home show to Worlds Collide, we have Pat McAfee versus Omos in the last man standing match. And I'm assuming Omos picks up the win, and yes, he does. And they put on an amazing match, 4-star match from Omos and Pat McAfee. Something you would never expect to say and probably will never say again. We have Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez kind of continuing their feud, and it does go up, so that's a big positive to me. I will always take a good +1 in the rivalry system. And then we have Montez Ford, Obafemi, and Chris Sabin in a non-title, just a going at it match with each other, just to fill up this card because we have injury issues and all kind of stuff going on right now. But Chris Sabin picks up the win, so even without his tag team partner, he is picking up some dubs. We also see Julia versus Roxanne Perez. They have nothing going on with each other, but you know, I just had to kind of fill this spot on the card, and they were both healthy enough to fill that spot. But Roxanne Perez takes down our tag team champion and also starts a rivalry with Julia. So I guess we'll see if we paid that off. We also see Jade Cargill cut a promo against Bayley. That goes up one time. And then we see CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, something we'll see very soon at WrestleMania. But we're going to see it in WWE 2K right now. And we're going to see who comes out on top before Worlds Collide. And Roman Reigns takes down CM Punk. And that completed that rivalry, which was something that I wasn't really going for. But yeah, I guess they finished it before the pay-per-view, unfortunately.
Alright, we're back with some real graps now. JC Jane, fresh off an injury, in tag team action, no belts on the line, and the champions do lose, and we see a new rivalry between Tiffany and all of these people, but JC Jane does get injured again. I did put that at risk, so that is my fault. Only 3 weeks, so not too bad, but yeah, very bad time to start a new feud. Gunther's promo, excellent, very nice to hear from Gunther. Axiom, Tyler Bate, could be a banger match in real life. Tyler Bate walks out on top in a mediocre match, and Tyler Bate is of course injured. This is not looking too good right now. But again, I'm putting this at risk. I've been using a lot of the same people, so I guess that is something to take into account for future reference. Tiffany or Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair go at it for the first time, I believe, and we see Liv Morgan walk out on top. Oh, and the rivalry's completed. Oh, that's kind of suck. I did want it on the pay-per-view, but I don't think I have that many slots anyways. This might kind of help me in the long run. Bianca, Asuka, their feud grows to a level 3. Love to hear that. The Fatal 4-Way, and we see Tonga Loa walk out on top, and he is fine, right? Okay, we have... Oh, no, Pete Dunne is out for 12 weeks! 12 weeks! Oh... Okay, so at least Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate are out, so I might have to be a real life WWE here, and we might have to cut ties with these two guys while they're injured. Who knows? But in the main event, just make it through this match, please. Okay, thank you, Asuka. Disappointing match, yeah, this is a very disappointing week.
And going into our first PLE, I am ahead by 15,000 now. You pulled ahead and got to 4,000, then I pulled ahead, pulled it away to 10, and now I'm up by 15 going into our first pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was hoping my momentum will continue, but it is slowly running out. But hopefully, to finish this video, I can walk out on top.
And we have 4 messages once again this week. My entire roster is unhappy, so we'll see what happens once again. And Triple H has 2 messages for me this week, so I'm assuming that's not a good thing. But the first one, they saying Julia versus Roxanne wasn't a good fight, but I don't really care. That was just a filler match. You know, we got to fill that time just like you do in real life, buddy. Jade Cargill is mad that Io Sky got a win over Raquel for some reason, so now she wants to help Raquel out by taking on Io. Sure, I guess. Sure thing, man. Pat McAfee, he just coming off that very interesting feud with Omos. And he's saying that he's not physically 100% right now, and I don't blame him after our last man standing match with Omos. But yeah, he's asking for 2 weeks off. So he's trying to be a part-timer, but unfortunately, I'm going to tell him, no, you're Pat McAfee, you're healthy, and I need healthy bodies for this pay-per-view potentially. And I think I will accept Triple H's offer, and I will fire Montez Ford and get $190,000 back. So I don't know what that means for Angelo Dawkins. I guess we'll find out in just a moment. Unfortunately, with the news of Alex Shelley being injured and then Montez Ford unfortunately got fired, I don't see a spot on my roster for Angelo Dawkins. So unfortunately, I will be releasing both of the Street Profits. That's a very big tag team on the market. Maybe you could get your hands on them, but unfortunately, I won't have my hands on them anymore. And because of the releases, I do have quite a bit of money. I have $600,000. I'm gonna look to see if I could get a tag team. So I made this search here, and we're gonna see if anyone good could come up that I could potentially put together for my tag team division. Unfortunately, I didn't get the best results. I have JC Mateo, Rusev, Xavier Woods, and Finn Balor. Kind of hard to find a combination of these people. Maybe I could afford to do one more search. Okay, we picked up a bunch of randoms. None of them are going to help us. I'm going to sign Finn Balor for 25 weeks for $167,000. Still coming out a little bit cheaper than Montez Ford. And then also, to team up with him, I have Rusev teaming up with Finn Balor with also 25 weeks for $97,000 for just around the same bit that I paid for Angelo Dawkins. So I will have a very weird and interesting tag team with Finn Balor and Rusev, and we'll see, I guess, where they go. At least when Alex Shelley comes back, because we still don't even have him.
Before we get to booking, we have to check the phone, and we have a message from Tiffany. She's saying thank you that I let her team up with Bianca. I did like it. We did need somebody to kind of fill up some stuff, so it was nice that she was able to do that. Penta, he's not feeling 100%. This is a little bit of bad timing. I do have a lot of matches I need to fill for this show, so I do kind of need them. I think I will have to say, I'm sorry, Penta. I can't really do it. We kind of need you for this show. You're a big deal, so hopefully you don't take it the wrong way. Let me check the phone, but before we get to the booking, I am going to activate some of my first power cards of the series so far. I'm going to buy this health spa, and we're also going to start using some cards like Fighting Champion. This is going to give a big boost for all the matches this week, so that will be a very helpful thing. We're going to use those 2 health spas as well. I am going to put it on Gunther and Javon Evans just because I am going to book them, so I do want them to be healthy walking out of this feud. So, yeah.
And for the first match against each other, we're going to see who gets the first insurance policy between these 4 people in a fatal 4-way match. And let's see who comes out on top. And it's the debuting Rusev for me. And he also gets a feud with Obafemi, which I guess we'll take. And my 4 matches for the pay-per-view is up first. And we have Rhea Ripley versus Chelsea Green and a special guest referee match where Pat McAfee is a special guest referee. And we're going to see who comes out on top. Pat McAfee does look like he helps Rhea Ripley pick up the win, and it also grows their rivalry from 2 to 3, and it doesn't end it. So I guess that's a positive because we could use that going into our next PLE. But up next, we have a fatal 4-way match to determine who will CM Punk feud with going into the next pay-per-view. And will it be Finn Balor? No, it's going to be Omos feuding with CM Punk. But Finn Balor is the new champion, so I guess we'll see where that goes, because now we need a feud for him coming next week. We have a triple threat match with Raquel Rodriguez, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. We'll see if Raquel and Io can lift their feud up and potentially put on a big match, because we need some of those big matches coming up since you used that power card this week. And it looks like Kairi Sane surprisingly picks up the win, and unfortunately the match didn't work out and we didn't gain any rivalry points, so a big disappointment on that one, unfortunately. But we still have our main event, and this is going to be a big one because this is a well-built feud with Randy Orton and Braun Breaker, and it is for that United States Championship. So hopefully we could get a big 5-star match here. And Braun Breaker picks up the win, becomes new champion in a 4-star match, and it completes the rivalry. So hopefully that's enough to keep me ahead of you this week.
For my 4 matches, we started off with that match between Bianca Belair and Asuka for the title in a tables match. And we see Asuka walk out as a new women's NXT champion in a 4-star or a 4.5-star classic, ending that feud. Penta cuts his promo, excellent, +5 popularity. Jordan with Grace versus Lyra Valkyria for the North American title now, and we see Jordan Grace retained the champion once again, growing that feud to a number 2 now, and we also get another 4-star match. That's very nice. Axiom has his little promo, and now we see Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton. This is another filler match, really, but we do see Liv Morgan come out on top, and yeah, a 2.5-star match from here. But the big match for us, Kevin Owens, Aleister Black, our biggest feud outside of Gunther and Javon that we have waiting for next show. But who walks out as their new or the next North American champion? It is going to be Kevin Owens, and that is a legendary match, putting this feud at a 2 from a 2 to a 3 now. I thought it was a little bit high already, but I guess not. But for the main event, the women's tag team tornado tag for the last insurance policy card, Team NXT, Team SmackDown. And your winner is Team NXT. I take home the second one in an amazing match as well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about my lead because I think maybe you might have at least caught up. And ending our second episode of MYGM, I am still ahead, but just barely. Once again, I'm holding on by a thread.
I think I really messed up by not having that Gunther Javon match. That really would, I think, put me over the edge. But at least this is a lead that I can still come back from.
I'm only up by 7,000. But yeah, this will be a very interesting video going into our next one, considering it's so close now. We tried to work out a potential trade that looks similar to this, but we couldn't really figure one out because we both have so many injuries and people with low stamina. A lot of things going on with our brains. So unfortunately, there will be no trades going on during this pay-per-view cycle. Alright, and that's gonna wrap up episode 2 of MYGM. I did end with the lead about 8,000, but you are catching up a lot, so I guess we'll see what happens next episode.
Plenty of time to cut that lead and even extend it from my side. But yeah, we should see how we go until the next show, and the next one will be Money in the Bank, so it will be a big one, and I'll be interested to see how that plays out for MyGM with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Let us know if there's anything you would like to see us change about the series or add to this series or anything of that nature, but we appreciate you guys for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.